Hello, Robotics Notes fans. Happy December 21st. I don't know why I was still moused over the 20th. It is 12:04 a.m. and welcome to another episode of Robotics Notes Late like Animal Crossing. Let's load the data. Hot dog. Oh man, we're going to the store. Mizuka perspective. I parked the car in the rear parking lot and walked back around to the front. The cool thing about the Hug is that cars don't have to be modified. I can drive like any non-handicapped person. Though I'm usually stuck watching the store, so I don't get to drive much. In all honesty, I sometimes forget that my legs are disabled thanks to the Hug. But because this thing has become a part of my body, I can't immediately notice subtle discomforts. This is probably because I use it on a daily basis. Even a Hug engineer wouldn't know the difference. There's a slight grinding feeling when I walk, as if a small amount of sand got stuck in the gears. I've been feeling this since the day before yesterday. Once I noticed it, it became impossible to ignore. I've been going to the beach once every 2 days, so I'm betting that's the case. The cause, my bad. I probably shouldn't hang around the beach too often. I look up at the sky, pretending to glare at a god I don't believe in. This sun is hidden by a layer of dark clouds. That's a Mitchie. Yo! Oh, it's just you, Mitchie. Is the school out today? Teachers are busy all the time, so I'm working on my day off. Pro tip. Oh, I figured I'd also invite you to the Christmas party. Psh. Can't help but scoff at his choice of words. What Christmas party? You're just going out for drinks, right? I mean, sure, but... That's how I imagine Mitchie laughs. Mom, I'm back. Mom was watching the place while I was gone, so I let her know I'm home. She says she hasn't had lunch yet, so I immediately take over and send her to the back of the store. I want to prevent her from coming into contact with Mitchie as much as possible. She's been trying to hook me up with him since the dawn of time. What's she thinking? I sit on my usual seat and take a small breather. 2 cans of coffee up here next to the register. That one's for you, Ire. Much obliged. You read my mind. How unlike you. After receiving payment for the drinks, I open the can he bought me. The warm, sweet coffee seeps into my body. So, drinking on Christmas? The usual jerks, I suppose? Aye, it'll probably be around 5 people this time around. Ever since Mitchie and I came back to the island, we periodically get together with our old high school pals. They're never huge gatherings, since only about 10 of us still live here. I feel sorry for you. Don't you have a girl you could spend the night with? Right back at ya. Got him. You wanna go? I shoot him a fierce glare, and he smiles and breaks eye contact. Ooh, so scary. I chug the rest of the coffee. This place is empty even during lunch. But that's how it always is. So, how's Yashio? Wow, are you concerned about your student? You're starting to sound like a real teacher for once. I am their advisor. The VP's been telling us to watch how the students spend their time. That's a secret. I lower my shoulders and send him a sign of acknowledgement. People really tend to spill the beans during casual conversations like this. Probably because I'm just a simple girl running a simple little store. At school, Yashio and little Sonomi are troublemakers. They're the only ones that haven't decided on a career path. Akiho's busy with the robot club, right? Who I don't understand is Kai. Why in the world does he want to learn how to surf during this time of year? Have you heard anything? That's my question. How the heck would I know? Useless. And yet he still calls himself their advisor. Wait, you're teaching him how to surf without knowing why? In all honesty, I kind of have a bad feeling about it, so I don't really want to teach him jack. Sticking my nose into someone else's trouble will come back to bite me in the ass. Plus, when I'm with Kai nowadays, I sense that girl's presence makes me uncomfortable. Sure seems like you're serious about teaching him to me. Have you found that passion of yours again? I'm really glad if that's the case. Ever since the incident, you distanced yourself from surfing. I never thought you'd start going to the ocean again. Not really that attached. During college, I got into a motorcycle accident. My legs have been busted ever since. That's all there is to it. Can't surf with these legs, so I naturally distanced myself from the ocean. I mean, yeah, at first I was so depressed that I wanted to die, but with time I came to accept what happened. Well, thanks to Kai, I did get a little blast from the past. Thinking back on how I used to go to the ocean every day when I was younger. But it's not like I find any of that nostalgic. Surfing was fun, but it was just a hobby of mine. For other reasons, I've decided to close the lid on those memories and pretend they never happened. Yet that girl keeps appearing in front of me. You said that I seemed serious about coaching Kai earlier. If that's how it looks to you, you're wrong. I'm just pissed off. It's as if she sees right through me. Oh, the girl. I thought we'd switch to Michi POV somehow. It's like she's telling me that I'm trying to run away from being the bad guy by pretending I saw nothing. I was gonna put a lid on all this to carry it to my grave without ever telling anyone what happened. 9 years ago, on the final night of summer, the night when the H-2A rocket launched. Whenever I see that girl, I can't help but remember. It's not like I was deeply involved in any of the accidents on that day. The most exciting thing about that day on the island was the rocket launch. It was an event us islanders enjoyed once every 6 months, like a ritual. It was held at night that day, oddly. Previous year, there was a launch that occurred at 2 a.m., but not too many saw it because of how late it was. So an evening launch was a first for a lot of us. I was a high school first year. My friends and I, Michi included, went to go see it at Hayes Park. I recall being fascinated by the rocket's beam of light cutting through the night sky, but at the same time, that was when the MF Anemone incident occurred. Of course, I had no idea at the time. I found out about the incident after coming home from watching the rocket launch. I'd heard from my friends Misa and that Aki and Kai, who were visiting Kagoshima for a field trip, were on board. I knew Aki and Kai through Misa. Concerned, I tried to contact her, but it went right into her inbox. With no other choice, I headed to Nishinomote Harbor on my own. By the time I arrived, the harbor was filled with people and noise. The ship had already docked, and the passengers who were involved were reuniting with their families in relief. All of the passengers, including the kids, looked emaciated, but they could walk on their own and seemed stable. But no matter how much I looked, I couldn't find Kai or Aki. I didn't see Misa or their families either. After wandering around for a while, the police and medical crew that were standing by suddenly started to panic. I had a bad feeling about all this. After waiting for a bit, I saw Kai and Aki get carried away on stretchers. They were unconscious. They were the only two passengers who didn't wake up that day, and nobody knew why. I was so shocked that I couldn't even call out to them. All I could do was watch from afar. Right as they were being loaded onto the ambulance, Misa arrived on her scooter. Misa was usually calm and collected, but she was freaking out. She clung to the pair, calling out their names. Aki, Kai, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Misa just kept apologizing to them over and over. For For some reason, she chose not to ride with them in the ambulance. She just watched as the ambulance drove off. I approached her, wanting to try and comfort her as best I could. And that's when I realized something dreadful had happened to Misa. I still remember seeing her there to this day. It's as if she had just ran through the woods and she was covered in dirt. The hem of her skirt was torn. But above all else, her clothes were covered in dark red stains. They looked like blood. It was then that I made eye contact with her. And Misa, after gazing at me desperately, Misa collapsed on the spot without saying a word. It was the first and last time I ever saw Misa looking so weak. I promised myself that I'd never do something as insensitive as to ask her what happened that night. I put all those questions in a box, sealed it up, and decided to never open it. I just held Misa tightly in my arms. And because I never asked about it, Misa never talked about it. She continued to cry, keeping her voice down. It was a week later when I heard that the body of Kokamijima had been found. He had been murdered. About 9 years have passed since then. I've always been afraid of that girl. The AI personality that Kokamijima created. An unknown existence that can talk just like any human. She must have been watching. I don't care what happened. I've sealed it all away. It'd be easy to put it all together, but I didn't care what the truth was, for better or for worse. I decided to stick by Misa's side. I'm scared that girl, Irie, might one day tell someone what she saw. I never planned on ever seeing that girl again, and it'd be great if she vanished. That'd be the best outcome. But when I think about how she's been hanging around Kai, I can't see her with my naked eyes, but I can feel her roaming around him, judging me. I can't hear her voice directly, but when I hear Kai and her talking from afar, I get so scared that it makes me want to scream. That's why it pisses me off. But according to Kai, I just have to wait until Christmas Eve. On that day, the ghost of my past might finally vanish. Then I'll never have to suffer her penetrating gaze ever again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is another episode of Robotics Let's Like Animal Crossing. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Robotics Let's Like Animal Crossing. But until then, Merry Christmas season. We're coming up on it. And most importantly of all, no Chio.